Welcome to this edition of 360, the video magazine of the Georgia-Cumberland Conference. Matthew 10, verse 7 reads, "As you go, preach this message, the kingdom of heaven is near." Recognizing that we do an awful lot of going, but in the process we have something to share. God's kingdom is near. In this version of our magazine, we'll talk about 3 different ways of sharing this good news of the kingdom. Now, 2009 has been designated the year of evangelism, and we've set a faith goal that goes well beyond anything we've ever seen in Georgia-Cumberland before. In fact, we're asking for 3 times the baptisms that we have seen. That won't happen unless God's Spirit does something amazing among us. My question to you is, what will you do to share this good?
Three-Point Play Ministry is an evangelistic tool that has been organized as a way of reaching young people in areas where we do not have churches. They're called Pioneer Outreach Areas. Specifically designed for ages 8 to 13, boys and girls. We teach basic fundamentals of basketball, but we also talk to them about values, sportsmanship, and the fact that Christ will help them in their walk through life. This last summer, we reached over 300 children as we went into 5 different areas of our conference.
We have a commission to go into all the world, to reach people, to go from house to house and seek out people that want to know the Lord. Our young people daily have divine appointments that they know that God has brought them there for a purpose. They're talking to the very person that God would have them talk to. And it changes their lives. It transforms the lives of the people they talk to, and it transforms their own lives. We're so grateful that God has ordained this ministry, that we have an opportunity to serve Him in this way. We thank you for your support of this ministry. As young people, we invite you to come and join our ministry. We know that you'll have a good time, that your lives will be changed, and you can serve Jesus as well.
It's something you can do. You might not go in front of a huge millions of people congregation and have like 1,000 baptisms and not like after evangelistic series, but just one person at a time, going step by step.
There's a way to reach these people, and the way is through the laity of our church. So we encourage you, we want to work with you and help to see God's movement to go forward in a mighty way. And especially with General Conference coming here in 2010, how exciting that will be to see so many good evangelistic ventures going on in this city, taking place to tell the world that Atlanta, Georgia is a place where God is working.
I feel like that too many people are comfortable with going to their church whenever they go and get their message and go right back home and live their happy old life, not worrying about anybody else that's beside them or around them, and then going right back the next week to that same service. But that's not fulfilling what God is telling us to do.
And this isn't about us coming in with a great plan. Bill and I were desperate to see God work. We really were. We were just desperate. And we were on the outside praying for God to use us, and we knew that we had to be available to Him. And then Priscilla was on the inside, desperate for help. And she was praying and asking God for some kind of help. And so what He did was He took both of us and He put us together.
One of my favorite stories in the gospel narrative describes the events that followed Jesus' feeding of the 5,000. The Bible tells us that He has gone on top of a mountain to pray through the night, while the disciples are sent ahead of Him, crossing the Sea of Galilee in a small boat. The Sea of Galilee, I imagine, was calm that evening as the disciples set out, but then within a few minutes it turned into a raging tempest, an incredible storm that threatened to crush that tiny vessel in its angry jaws. The disciples, according to the Bible story, fight through the evening hours, straining against the oars, pressing hard. Their very lives are at stake. And just when they think all is lost, just when they believe that there is no one to help them, they see Jesus crossing the sea, walking on the water, coming to their aid. It's in the Gospel of Mark that the Bible tells us that all through the evening, Jesus' eyes were upon them. Even though he was on the mountain praying, he never lost sight of his friends, the disciples. In the midst of your storms, Jesus' eye is always on you. And when you need him most, when the hour seems darkest, he too will be there for you. You are always the apple of his eye.